Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. So first I have to tell you that before I did this video, I decided to go and do a walk. I walk every day. I try to walk every day through the neighborhood. And it was chilly. It felt kind of fun to have it be chilly. I put on my sweatshirt and my overcoat and my scarf even, and I walked about 3/4 of the walk, and it was overcast. So it was chilly and it was fine and I loved it. And then the sun came out. I got so warm. It was like, oh my goodness. Unzip everything, take the scarf off. It was like, I felt silly, but it was toasty, cozy, warm when I first started walking. So that is what this part of the season does, doesn't it? We get all excited to put our scarves on and take a walk in that crisp air. And then the sun comes out and it warms up and it's 75 degrees. Oh, so also I wanted to give you a follow-up on that loud thunder and lightning. It was actually a lightning strike that happened in our area that made the news. Apparently, in a lot of you heard it on your news. But it was a very unusual or specific type of lightning strike that are only about 5% of lightning is like that. And it just does one loud, very dangerous bolt. And it did hit a building, which was, I guess, made the sound even louder, and some other atmospheric things made it very much louder. So it was a unique thing that happened, and I don't need to hear it again. So that was good. I'm good now. I can go on with life. I've heard one. That's okay, so we're on this side because I want to talk about how I'm getting those last borders on my summer soiree. Then I'm going to pop over to the other side of the table. So I have done, here, this is what I did. I've pinned them up here because I really need to get this off the design wall because I have to put a book quilt up there that I'm working on. So this is the top row, and I've pinned it so that I remembered, because I don't want to climb on a ladder and stick it up at the top. So instead I just pinned it part of the way down horizontal so that I know it's the top. And then I did the same thing for the bottom one. So I have the bottom one down here, and that's ready to go. But before I did the bottom one, what I had, let me grab this. Oh, grab the whole thing. What I had was all of the colors for the little cornerstones, the little squares, and I put them into piles so that I separated the colors, and there was 3 greens in each pile, or 1 red, 2 grays, whatever. So I did that so that the colors were all balanced and I didn't have to think about it as I went to each unit. And then I have the long strips in this section and the rest of the cream colored squares. And this whole little bundle will be, that's the left side that I'm working on. And I'm sewing on the right side right now, and I have it laid out on the table in little chunks so that I can, actually I just really need to sit down and get it done, to sew them up, put it on there and take it off the wall, because I find it to be actually more time consuming. I don't know, does this happen to you? Do you? Let me know in the comments if this is something that you also experience. If you've got one project and it is so close to being like you need to get just those sections on so that it makes sense before you remove it from the wall. It just is easier and less time consuming to do it now, even though you really need to work on your other project to get it out of the way, because it takes time then. If you put it away, and I put away these pinned together in the partial one, and then these 2 that aren't sewn on, if I kind of put them all in the basket, it's going to take me time to remember and be careful and know what I was doing to get them back working order. So first I will sew them. And if you haven't gotten your pattern for the layout, it's been out there a long time. I gave it to you early, but some of you didn't missed it. So be sure you go and download that. All right, now we're going to pop over to the other side of the table. So what I have now is our calendar for, okay, let's do the calendar for today. The calendar for today is a UFO challenge, the last for the month of October. And what I want to do is challenge you to pick the UFO that you will work on in October. So it's an easy challenge. I know that's easy for UFOs. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's hard for you to pick something to work on in October. I know actually personally for me that's a bit difficult because I'm still working on this book, so I really cannot work on anything that isn't like our scheduled stuff. Like the book and our scheduled stuff, that's pretty much all I have time for in October. But I am going to try to squeeze in one binding. I'm going to pick something and put binding on it. Not a big quilt, one of the small ones. But that's what I'm going to try to do. Also, in the spirit of calendars, I have our October calendar for you to print, and it has 2 pages. So you have the calendar itself and then all the projects. So we have all of this ready for you to print out, and you can go either right here under the video in the description box. I have the link to it. Or if you are over at I Love to Make Quilts already, it's over there on the calendar page. Yes, calendars. Now tomorrow we start the So tomorrow we start the Jelly Roll quilt, and so I want you to be ready. Now, if you're just thinking, oh, you know, maybe I am going to jump in and do that, you can get the PDF pattern and you can use any kind of jelly roll. I think these wreaths would be super cute in any jelly roll you have, or cut your own 2.5-inch strips. Hey, that's all you need. Oh, some background and some other fabric, but you can get the pattern as a PDF. So I want you to be ready for that. And I'm going to have some tips. Our kickoff tomorrow will be tips on working with jelly rolls. And so I'm going to sort of walk through the things that I do and that people have recommended. A couple that I heard that were, oh, so interesting. I might have to try it. So that'll be what we're doing tomorrow. All right, I want to give you this little sneak peek. It's nothing, but this is fabrics that I'm working with for one of the quilts for my book. So I just thought that'd be fun to show you, because I can't show you the other stuff, and that book won't be out for another, like, I don't know, 14 months or something. There's a book in between, because remember I delivered a book at the beginning of the year. That'll be out in the spring. So it's still a ways off. So this is the one after that one that you haven't seen yet. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So I want to do a review of a book. Not a review. I just want to show you a book. It is so darn cute. It is from, I had to get it because there's one quilt in there. I'm like, okay, I just have to do that quilt. I'm going to have to do it with, it's a scrap buster. At least to me it will be. This is a sweater weather, right? That's me in my heavy clothing walking till the sun comes out. So it's from Susan Aki, and she is a friend of mine, a very wonderful designer. She does a lot on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, you can go look at her beautiful work. But I'm going to show you the book. I'm going to show you some of the projects in it, because they're just so cute. She has a great color sense, and she likes to mix a lot of fabrics. That's one of her big things, is to take the fabric and mix it rather than taking like a jelly roll like this. She will take several and then mix all the fabrics. So she does really awesome stuff. Okay, and I love this artwork they did for her book. This is my publisher as well. This is the same publisher that I am with, Martingale. Okay, so the first quilt here, isn't that neat? I love that it has, I love that blue brown, just the colors, but then all of this sort of chain around the outside, super cool. Okay, there's some beautiful pictures and close-ups. Remember, it's sweater weather. This is the one. This is the one that I absolutely love. What's it called? Halloweenish. But I could see this in all kinds of fabrics. She's got just tons of cream colored fabrics, and then the pumpkin in black. And look at that wallpaper on that room. Isn't that gorgeous? So here is a picture of the quilt. Look at that. Look at all the movement with all those different fabrics in it. This is, I mean, I have a lot of light fabrics, and I'm thinking this would be great. Now you could do any 2 colors. You could do pink and purple. Wouldn't that be neat? You could do like a dark blue and a light blue for these little squares. Any green and yellow, all kinds of combinations would look fabulous. All right, let me see. Here's the next quilt, which is this gorgeous starburst. So this outside border looks really fun to do. Fun, she says, fun. Yes, it looks fun. It's maybe a little bit more challenging. These are called bear paw bow ties. Oh, I got that all mixed up. So there's another one that's super scrappy. You could use all different fabrics, any colors that you had to use up your scraps. They're just so cute. And the photography again is so awesome. This is called Teen Picnic. I like that. Look at this grid work. This is another one. All of these I can see is taking not just the color she used, but you could use any color combination. This is like 3 colors. It's teal, peach, and navy. So if you had school colors, you were doing something for a school, that would be so cool. All right. Then the witches' hats. Another one that's using all kinds of fabrics, not only for the background, but for the hats and for the orange. So every single part of this is using lots and lots of fabrics. Now I think, I'm gonna pull this up here a second. I think that doing something like this together next year might be really fun, where we pull from our scraps and create something that I don't think necessarily looks scrappy. It's very controlled, but it has tons of different fabrics. And so if you like that idea, let me know. Then I'll try to remember to write it down. That's always the problem. And then the last one she has is this gorgeous, it's like a shoe fly or a churn dash turned on point. And so the book again is called Sweater Weather. It's awesome. Yeah, lots and lots of good ideas. And I would do, if I did something like that, I would do one of the ones in here so we'd all have a book, something to reference. So I think that's fun. A fun way to work. Okay, one last thing is I did start something with the yarn that I got. I think I'm not pulled back. There we go. So I did start this with the yarn that I bought. It's good. I guess it'll be a scarf. I guess, yeah, that's what it is. But I don't know. It has way more purple in there than I was expecting. I can see another round of purple. I guess I wasn't focused on the purple. And I know I could probably just redo it and cut out the purple because I have 2 of these balls, so that I could just take it all the way back and remove the purple yarn and save that for another project. And I might do that because I've only done this much, and I don't mind taking it out. It's like unsewing, sometimes you just have to do it with crochet or patch, with cross stitch with every project. So I'm thinking about that, or I might just let it go and keep it in there. Maybe I'll take out all the other purple and just leave that one. Okay, print out your calendar today and then pick a UFO for October, because October starts tomorrow. Yeah, October already. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. See you online.